Union Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, announced today. And this is making headlines. Why? Because it pertains to something that is being talked about a lot, written about a lot, and something that's going to directly impact our lives in the times to come. The government has today said it is going to regulate artificial intelligence in order to ensure that it does not harm digital citizens, adding that there has been an increase in toxicity and criminality on the internet. The minister has also said that tech poses no risk to jobs in the next 5 years. Let's listen in to the minister, and then I will discuss this further with Brajesh.
There is a narrative and some melodrama around AI, and then there is a reality. It is possible that over the next 5 years, 10 years, that AI becomes intelligent enough where it will replace jobs. ये हो सकता है. ये हो सकता है means हो सकता है. आज के दिन में AI is focused, the application of AI is on tasks. It creates more efficiency. So of course, there is a possibility at very, very low levels of intelligence and repetitive tasking, it may replace jobs. But I can assure you that while AI is disruptive, we do not see in the next few years the so-called threat of it replacing jobs or removing jobs. Because the current state of development of AI is that AI is very task-oriented, not reasoning, logic, etc. And jobs usually have reasoning and logic, and AI is not sophisticated enough at this stage of its development.
All right, so no surprises there really, Brajesh, that the union government has finally decided it is time to take note of the impact that artificial intelligence is having on our lives. Though I must confess that I beg to disagree with the minister when he says that it poses no threat to jobs, because fact of the matter is that you talk to experts in the tech industry and they will tell you that more than 50% of the jobs that exist today will probably cease to exist 5 to 10 years from now thanks to artificial intelligence.
I think, both sides are, the government is underplaying it, and I think the artificial intelligence sides are overplaying it. It's not going to be like, if you lose 50% of your job, but yes, the jobs will be impacted. That is, I mean, if the government says or anybody says that, that no jobs will be impacting, he's absolutely wrong. I think, the government also wanted to talk about, by government, I mean, the minister also wanted to talk about, they will preserve jobs and all, because jobs is a touchy topic. And more importantly, with 2024 round the corner and lack of employment as one of the key issue against the BJP government. This is something which he didn't wanted to to portray as some sort of problematic area. But yeah, I completely agree when when he speaks about toxicity and criminality, which is significantly increased on the internet, and he's just just said that we will not allow attempts to harm digital citizens succeed. I think the biggest challenge for the government would be in this particular area, because going by the rapid growth which we are witnessing either in the terms of artificial intelligence or the expansion of GAMU of digital world, these are the two key areas as far as internet world is concerned.
Absolutely. And I want to dwell on this issue of what impact artificial intelligence can have on jobs and the already ballooning problem of unemployment in this country. We'll come to that in a moment. But since you've touched on this very important issue of toxicity, something that you and I and everyone that uses social media has faced at one point or another, Brajesh, these are some important points that the minister has made. He says toxicity and criminality have significantly increased on the internet. We will not let attempts to harm digital citizens succeed. He then highlighted that 85 crore Indians use the internet, and that is expected to go up further to 120 crore by 2025. Now, there is no doubt that India is the largest internet market in the world. Obviously, it has a lot to do with our population, and also the fact that there is growing internet literacy in this country. And with it come problems like toxicity, like social media abuse, threats, intimidation. things that women, for example, face on a daily basis. Journalists like you and me are subjected to on a daily basis. But when the minister says, we're going to deal with this effectively, what does he mean? Because, there's been too much criticism in the past about how the government has actually failed to crack down on these elements.
See, when the government says that they're going to deal it effectively, there's a limit to which it can go. You can regulate the market. But you can regulate the market only up to a point or not beyond that. And going by the kind of mammoth, expansion of the usage of mobile phone, given that the data price in the country is perhaps the lowest in the world and all, it has increased the exposure to cyber world like never before. Yeah. And I think, the government says that they will be able to defend it. I seriously doubt that, with the overarching reach of the technology, there's not much the government can do. Yes, what the government can do is that it can crack down on, social media platforms where any kind of insult is, directed against any female, or like, unnecessary harassment is being meted out on the, what is referred to as a cyberbullying and all. Yeah. But it is all subjected to a certain extent. It's not like that the government can do away with it, because the technology is the way they are, the rapid expansion of technology is there. I seriously doubt that the government can do much about it.
There is another side to this, Rajeev. Over the last couple of years, we've had this raging debate in this country on the new IT rules that the government introduced. Now, it had a very a different kind of impact from what was actually expected. The government said, we are making, social media platforms and giants like Facebook and others, Google, more accountable. If, for example, they are giving platforms to hate mongers, to people who are spreading fake news and disinformation, we will come down on them like a ton of bricks. On paper, it looked like it was definitely a noble cause that the government was espousing. But in reality, when those rules were introduced, it became very controversial, Rajesh. You will recall, for the simple reason that a lot of critics said that, this actually is tantamount to the government cracking down on dissent, on its critics, and instead of actually dealing with or minimizing hate and disinformation and fake news on the social media, the government could actually take this route to go after those who do not agree with it.
Well, it's like saying that the law is for everyone. We all know how law exists and how law operates. The same is the social media. Who's going to fact check the fact checker? The fact is that the government, when it says, the intentions are all noble. It's like, someone telling you that, please, we always speak truth and there should be no element of untruth in what you say, what you perceive, how you see the world. But when it comes to actually implementing the idea, there are a lot of gray areas. The social media sites, they do not do the crackdown as it is mandated. When the person connected, or the government offices and all are connected in a big way, the social media giants, we have seen in several cases related to all the social media giants, they refuse to crack down the way that was desired. Now the government, if you're talking about India only, the government has its own department called the Press Information Bureau, where they have launched a fact check department. And when you say that, only news fact checked by us will be the only legit news, then this means that, it's like, if you say that, the government of India has done something wrong, or anything, or it's not limited to one government, because every government loves to control the information,
and then
the inflow and outflow.
The criticism of censorship,
Absolutely, it is there. So, no government can escape it, and it is not limited to this government. Again, I want to make it very clear that every government, every powerful government would love to control the inflow, outflow. They would want the narrative which is being set out in the social media or public at large, which should be the narrative which the government wants to propagate, and not the narrative as it should be. And that is the reason why, there's a lot of talks about how the government might browbeat these social media platforms to take down, sites,
anti-government
which is
content,
inimical to the interest of the government. So, if we say that, all these social media giants and all, the way they propose that, like, no, we are very honest and, we don't bow down to government pressure and all. And, unfortunately, their all deeds are exposed in various investigative journalism done by papers abroad, where they say that how, in XYZ cases of hate speech and how particular community was targeted.
And
Mark
so on
Zuckerberg
and so in particular has been accused pointedly by some of his former employees who testified before the US Congress, accusing him of profiting from hate.
Absolutely. That is why I'm saying that when you say that, on paper, law is same for everyone.
Yes.
In reality, when you implement it, it's definitely not for everyone. The same way all these social media giants, who talk very glibly about how they're committed to the freedom, how they're committed to free speech, how they're committed to free thought and all. It's all basically addressing to mask the real design, and the real design is that whatever suits their purse, whatever makes them laugh all the way to the bank, they're more than happy to comply with the government of the day. We have seen how it pans out in India also. When it came to Twitter, we have seen how Twitter has responded when it came to them being taken to task in various other countries.
Exactly.
And then the reality is, of course, I mean, most of the time completely at variance with the way these tech giants tries to project themselves.
Exactly.
So, and the attempt of the government would be like, the flip side is that, now with the market, and when the minister says, the most important thing is when the minister says that in 2025 you have 120 crore Indian using internet.
Yes.
So you can just imagine the mind-boggling numbers India offers. And that makes it such a lucrative market.
Yes.
That all the talks of me committed to freedom speech takes a backseat. It's like me committed to super profit takes precedence over that.
Because
and this is where
commercial interests seem to trump everything, and there cannot be a bigger market than India today. I mean, China, in terms of its population, we have the numbers, though we've beaten them on that front also. But fact of the matter is that it's a very closed society. It's an authoritarian regime, and therefore India, being the democracy that it is, it does continue to be the most attractive market for giants like Facebook and Google, which is why the government says you have to play the game by our rules.
Absolutely. And you see, it always happens, we've seen all these giants, whether it's football making companies or various other companies, how when they talk about right and wrong and complete binary and all, somehow it doesn't translate the way they act.
Exactly.
And in the case of Facebook, we have seen that several exposes have been done about how they're somehow at the end of the day bending backwards to please or to cater to what the government wants them to say or do, and take down posts which are inimical to the government. And also, I mean, all these are mere glib talks and all, and nothing more than that. And most of these people are more than happy to, to cater to the government or to the market. More than government, it's like catering to the market. They realize that, India is such a huge market that if they go against the government, any government of the day, it could be BJP, Congress, left, anybody.
It hurts them financially.
It hurts them
they can't
financially.
afford to.
Absolutely. So all the talks of, that's the reason I'm saying that all talks of how I'm committed to the free speech.
Yes.
It looks good in US, when your guy comes up suited, booted, and makes all the right kind of noises, only not to follow it. So
But
only
like you
in the
said,
letter, never in spirit.
I agree, and like you said, it is actually US media itself which has been the first one to expose the hypocrisy of giants like Facebook on how nothing seems to matter to them beyond profits.
Absolutely.
But since our producers, Brajesh, are repeatedly playing AI shorts, I think it's only fair that we go back to discussing AI. Before I talk to you about what the minister said about artificial intelligence, come on, time for you to make a confession. When was the last time you used ChatGPT, and what did you use it for? Did you write a script, for example, using ChatGPT?
Thank you so much for insulting me on air, but yes, no, I have not. I am a tech retard, as they say, and as big a retard as it comes. So, no, I have not used ChatGPT till now at all.
Well, that makes two of us. Whether anyone believes us or not, I don't know. But actually, I'm not sure if that's such a good thing to say on air, because I think that makes us sound like dinosaurs, Rajeev, considering that, it's hard to come across anyone who's not using ChatGPT these days. But on a serious note, Rajeev, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and, he has said that India is going to play a big role in this AI revolution. And I don't think anybody doubts that. The Prime Minister has always, in a sense, expressed his willingness, his keenness to, be a world leader who sort of, encourages the tech sector, not just in India, but to invite global tech leaders to India, this, that, and the other. So going back to what, the IT Minister, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, said today, he says AI poses no threat to jobs right now. There is some melodrama about AI, he said. He said AI has in fact created 1 crore jobs in the last few years. There's a remote possibility that AI will become intelligent enough to start replacing the human workforce in certain sectors. But currently the application is restricted to tasks. It creates efficiency. Well, I agree that, there is a lot of hullabaloo over AI, and at the moment its application may be restricted to tasks. But like I said earlier, You know, for anybody to say, Brijesh, that AI will never be intelligent enough to replace humans in the workforce, I think they are caught in a time warp.
They are, because I mean, whether you use chat GPT or I use chat GPT or not, but there's a whole world out there. I mean, 5 years back, who would have told us that there are AI tools where you fit in 6-7 words or 7 lines of description and it can generate an article which is completely different from anybody that has been written. So a lot of progress has been made. There's no two ways about it. But to the degree, it also depends on the degree of technological assimilation the country goes. So I think in most of these first world countries, the chances of people losing their job to AI will be far bigger than countries like India. I think it will be some time before we actually come to a situation where real people start losing job to artificial intelligence.
That may be some way off, but you would agree, Brijesh, that it's a matter of concern in a country where unemployment is already a huge challenge.
Well, see, it's like saying that that computer would. It's the same kind of threat which says people said that when computer will come, it would eat into people's job. I mean there's no way you can escape that.
Okay.
It's like it's like behaving like an ostrich. There's no way just by you taking care of your citizens doesn't mean that you're going to escape the AI route.
Yes.
It'll make your product so much overpriced and all that your economy will crash. So the integration will happen whether you like it or not, whether it creates job deficit or not, whether it creates more job or not.
It's the inexorable march of technology.
It is inevitable. It's inevitable. You cannot escape it.
You
It
cannot
is something
escape
as simple as well. The big reason why China overtook most of the people, most of the markets was not because it was cheap, but because it was it was constantly innovating itself. It was not like it was just making cheap jhalars and all.
Yeah.
But so this constant innovation.
Innovation is the name of the game, and as they say, shape up or ship out. And I think that is a reminder for journalists like you and me as well.
Start using chat GPT to write articles.
At least start adapting to technology before your skills become completely outdated. We've got to upskill ourselves at every given point in time.